The airwomen of the 588 Night Bomber Regiment were, as historians would say, big damn heroes, and are very much a part of history, and were very real. I know we're playing a tabletop role-playing game based on those events, but if you'd like to learn more about who these women were and what it was like, we've got another book suggestion in our show notes. Head over to terriblewarriors.com and click on today's episode. Aaron Paulier, one of the writers over at Star Trek Adventures, is also a World War II reenactor and knows a thing or two about the Night Witches and has been helping me research who these women were as we've been playing this game. And of course, this game was chosen by our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Every month there's a poll that allows them to choose which game we're going to play next. If you'd like to participate in that poll, there is still time to join in on this month's action. Head over to that page today, and a support of any amount can participate in those polls. This is the third episode of a 4-part campaign running all month. Next week is our finale, and next month we start a new game chosen by our Patreon supporters. By the way, it's going to be Paranoia. But enough of looking into the future. Let us return to the past, to that airfield near the city of Krasnodar, to springtime during World War II, to the women of the 588 Night Bomber Regiment, to the Night Witches, and to our terrible warriors. Hello there, terrible listeners. Welcome back to our third episode of Night Witches. I'm your GM, Justin Ecock, leading our airwomen of the 588 through, well, something all right. That last episode didn't turn out too well for you. We should reintroduce y'all in your shame and your humiliation. And your sorrow. You lost a lot of people on that last mission. That did not turn out well for you. No. That was a lot of. We fixed the dice though. We're gonna get some better dice rolls this time. Those were a lot of like snake eyes, and I can't do anything to help you with those. I am not alone. Here at this table, I am joined by our pilot, flying in the only plane to survive the mission.
Joe Drummond playing Miriam Pomelova and feeling incredibly guilty about everything.
And sitting right behind, probably going to take all the blame for leading that mission.
Joshua Barbeau playing Marina Tsvetkova, Sparrow, and definitely to blame for everything.
And believing to be dead, but not. We're going to start with you.
Neil Tavares, yeah. Lena Kazakova. I'll remember it eventually.
Yeah, Lena, you ran out of fuel because you were flying in a ship with an engine that was leaking that shouldn't have been there. Your pilot tried to turn back early. Pushed through. You stayed there. And on the way back, your engine gave out and you wheels down into enemy territory. You did not really do well with that landing. The plane has been wrecked. You took a lot of harm. You're at 3. One more point and you're donezo. Your pilot did not survive the crash, and you are on the wrong side of the border right now. We could have you landing like behind enemy lines. It gives you, if you have landed in an active combat zone, roll guts. If you find yourself in lonely terrain far from the front line, roll skill. You put down near a village or a farm, roll luck. What I was thinking, you crash, like you're close to the front line, so that it would be combat there, but you flew away from it, and you were close to the airfield, and we have in this theater the city of Krasnodar, and we've been describing that they were very close to the border the whole time, and you're almost there. So
now, before she rolls, she gets an advancement, correct?
Yeah, you wheels down, so you got your advancement, and you already have a mark from last night. You would normally take a mark for landing in enemy lines. That's your war story that you got last time.
Awesome.
So you landed in a field.
In the field.
You're in a farm. Before you get out, you've got a pistol, you've got a map, you've got a compass, you got some candy, and that's it. And you got to get back home. Okay. Before you get out there and assess your situation, you get to advance. So you get to check something off here before we start your day.
Here's the thing. We've got skill, guts, luck, I feel like this was luck. I don't know how much skill. She was in the back seat.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this was skill. So
No, it was providence.
I think we'll take that advancement and give her 1 extra in the luck category.
So your luck is now at 2, and stats can only go up as high as 3. So you're definitely lucky in how unlucky you are right now.
That's for sure.
So
Can't get any more of those.
before we go and deal with the regiment back at the airfield, we need to know if you'll even survive this scene. If you fail this roll, you will be captured by the Germans, and we will never see you again.
Okay.
So no pressure or anything. It'll be 2d6 plus 2.
Oh, shoot.
No one else can assist you in this roll. There's no bonuses. There's no regard. There's no mission pool. It's just 2d6 plus 2.
Oh, my gosh.
Is that a 5 and a 1?
5 and a 1.
But a 5 and a 1 plus 2
Plus 2
gets you into success range.
into 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On a 10 plus, you would have returned to the regiment unharmed and ready for duty.
Oh, boy.
On a 7 to 9, you're going to choose 2 from this item.
Oh, no.
Return after some time in hiding. Where did you hide? Return unfit for duty. How were you hurt? Well, you're already unfit for duty. Return under a cloud of suspicion. What arouses the Politruk's suspicion? I would say you are already unfit for duty at 3 harm.
Mm-hmm.
If you take any more harm, you're dead. So
You'll be
you
toast.
you will be hospitalized when you get home from your crash.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely 1. So the choices for the other 2 are return after some time or return under a cloud of suspicion.
A cloud is... Oh, nobody understands how it is that I got here kind of thing.
Yeah, like they're thinking,
You must be a spy.
yeah, what did they let you go if you promised to blank, 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 blank? Or did you just hide out in a farm and you get back tonight?
As much as the other one sounds like, it's something that would be better kind of like storyline wise, I will say the hideout one. Because I just, especially since it was on a farmland, maybe she found a grain silo, hid out for a while,
Yep.
And
You just grabbed some blankets and just
yeah, just
went to sleep.
went to sleep, got
Passed
some
out.
rest, passed the hell out.
And under cover of darkness, you'll make it back to the base tonight.
Correct.
So we now come to day 2
Oh no.
since we started. I have over here. The day begins with your plane arriving and going into a briefing. The staff sergeant from the day before is there, and they are not happy.
This is documentary day today too, right?
When you walk, the documentary crew will be arriving later this morning. It's just dawn right now. There is, however, in the briefing tent already, you hear him talking, one of the pilots from the 218, the male regiment that is sharing the airbase with you. It will be Yuri Toropov. Yuri Toropov is a ace pilot. He's a lieutenant. Has got a number of medals under his belt, a lot of kills under his belt, and is pointing out a map of the operation that you were doing that they had to complete for you after your planes went down. And that was on top of the mission they already had. They did double duty last night. The senior lieutenant is having to accept that they will be getting all of the credit for last night. And he seems quite pleased with himself. And he sees the 2 of you come in. And ladies, happy to assist and help things out. Clearly, we were all right that you're not fit for this job.
Wait, this is Sasha that's...
This is Yuri, the
Okay,
ace pilot.
Okay, got it.
He's got despite the fact that you just lost 4 people that you, 3 at least, but 4 potentially, of your airwomen out there last night. He's very smug about this.
Miriam,
No sign of respect for the dead.
Miriam doesn't say anything, but she just glares at him.
Oh, this guy needs just a kick.
Can
Just a good kick.
I do something?
What do you do?
Or I want to talk him down. I want to tell him he's a showboat, and and if he, and a waste of space, and yeah, stuff like that.
So do you want to eyeball them first, or do you want to go straight to act up?
Well, this is an act up moment. This guy's a jerk,
Mhm.
and I'm fighting against the patriarchy because that's my style.
So roll luck. And do you want to help with this?
I don't think so.
No.
Probably the better.
Let him sink on his own.
I think so.
Let her sink on her own.
I'm gonna roll a 6.
A 6 plus 0, eh?
That's what I rolled.
Oh boy.
You know what?
Yeah, so you don't have any regard to go towards this
Wait,
at all.
can I choose one of my dead comrades to help me out in this check?
How does that work? How does that move work?
I use one of my 3 holds, one of my 3 dead comrades, and I spend my hold for an automatic success, 10 plus. Every time I do this, I suffer a harm.
So you invoke the ghost of your dead friends, and you will take a mark, and you'll put him in his place. And you're actually going to be like, people died tonight. Can you not? Kind of a thing, right?
People
Really
died
is
tonight, and all you care about is
What mark are you going to take?
one medal on your belt.
Yeah, another target.
I'm going to tell the war story. I'm going to tell them what it was like out there. I'm going to say,
Well, telling the war story is to the table of players. It's not. It's not for the game, but you can still mark that. Both of you owe us a war story, by the way.
That's true.
So wait, that's okay. But I pick any mark,
boy.
but I'm not necessarily telling a war story.
You if you pick the mark war story, you will tell us a war story. The
Okay.
table,
Well, then I'll pick the mark
Yeah.
advance and grow. Advance and grow.
and you tell us a story about your character. It's not in game.
I'm going to advance and grow. I'm going to for the first time in my life be the bit of a leader that I don't deserve to be, and defend my squad, even though we.
So get to advance. So what are you advancing with? It actually counts as an advance.
That counts as an advancement if
Yeah.
I pick the advance and grow.
Yeah. So how do you advance in this moment where you stand up and you buck the patriarchy, which is also going to cause an advance?
So I get 2 advancements.
You will,
How am I advancing?
because that's what you get for being a leader.
I'm going to change duty station. I'm going to pick moving west, change duty station.
Changing duty station means we are leaving this campaign, and I'm pulling out an entirely new piece of paper, and
Sorry,
we're
I thought
skipping
that
ahead
meant changing my
like 6
roll.
months.
I thought that meant changing my role.
No.
Never mind.
Whenever you advance, you can opt to change your role.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to choose the personal growth and a harsh lesson. Because this was a harsh lesson.
Okay, and you want to change your role to something else?
Yeah, I want to become the leader.
Okay, you're taking on the leader role.
I'm gonna be like, okay, I didn't want to be the leader, but whether I like it or not, I am. And people died tonight under my command, and it sucked. And yeah.
And it gets to him there, and it shuts him up, and he gets a little quiet, and he goes, "Of course." And he clicks his heels, nods to dismiss himself, and says that there will be we'll commemorate them with drink and song tonight.
I'm gonna give myself +1 guts for that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that debriefing could have gone worse, as far as they go. We return to.
Could have gone better too, but
We return to daylight hours. Today, the documentary crew, you hear the truck rolling up, and they're setting up cameras, and they're already interviewing some of the women out there, and they're some of them are getting a little bit more into it, definitely acting like women, and getting all excited and wanting to be on camera, and the men across the airfield are clearly annoyed that the cameras aren't on them, the real heroes here, and the crew members, the documentary people are going around. They're just asking questions and putting their way into it, and they're definitely keeping an eye on the two of you as you walk out, looking the way you do. Definitely seen some stuff after your last mission, and Stalin's North Star came back without any damage, right?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
No,
it did get
wait, did it?
damaged.
Oh, it did get damaged?
did get damaged. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I was under the impression
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
112 wasn't damaged.
So
but
Stalin's
it's gone.
North Star was damaged, and that'll need to be repaired before tonight's mission. You only have one reserve plane left, so you also have to scrounge and see if there's another plane to get.
Oh, boy.
Oh no.
Or we
like-
just go on a mission with 2 planes.
Like that's tough. So you've got a long day ahead before you're ready for your mission tonight, and tomorrow's the
I've got a
inspection.
plan. I've got a plan.
So what's your plan?
Well, okay. The mission we went on to bomb the fuel depots.
Yep.
We were specifically told not to fly low because flying low would be a suicide run.
Uh-huh.
That we needed to fly high and attack from a higher altitude.
Right.
I want to find a way to either forge documents or I want to find a way basically to make it look like our squadron commander, Sasha, told us to fly low despite the danger, and that it is thus Sasha's fault that things went to hell.
So you'd like to prepare a report there for your NKVD contact from yesterday's interview.
Right, who
to
wanted me
blame
to
them for this
Yeah.
mission failure.
saying that we flew too low, but it was because of Sasha that we flew too low, and Sasha knew that that would be a suicide mission as per these documents.
Okay. That sounds like reaching out to reveal a significant new truth, and you're reaching out to your contact at the NKVD
Who asked me just the other day
asked you
dig
to-
up dirt on Sasha?
to frame your superior.
Well, 3 people died, but as far as I know, 4 people died, and it's Sasha's fault. She knew that it was too dangerous to fly low.
So it's just a straight D6 because you don't have any regard for this NKVD person.
That's fair, and I don't have anything else to use.
Make it a good one.
5.
So on a miss, your efforts are ineffective, misunderstood, or understood all too clearly.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
The NKVD is very happy.
Can I
receive
get
this
one of my
report.
dead friends? I have 2 left. Can I invoke a second one?
There'll be another mark.
Because every time I do this, I'm marked by the experience.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it. So that's an automatic success, but I take a mark.
So you're like, what would they have said? What would you do?
I'm gonna tell a story of home.
What would Lyra have said other than oh god,
Okay,
no.
on a
Okay,
10, choose 2.
Actually,
of
no, I'm
these.
gonna make it the war story. Yeah, war story makes sense here.
On a 10, choose 2 of these. Remove 1 harm from each remove 1 harm each from you and your friend. This would be the person you're reaching out to, but that might not be appropriate. Change the target and or tone of a currently filled regard slot. So you can change the regard you have and add 1 to the mission pool. As well as you're doing like narratively, you're doing this for the NKVD officers. There's other things going on here. You don't have any harm.
I don't have any harm.
Yeah, that's insane. So you can choose to change your regard slot around. You can change the tone of it from love to something else, or you can change the target of it from
Miriam.
to someone else. And definitely you'll get
Change the target of what from Miriam to
You can
someone?
change your regard to a different target, someone or something else, or you can change the tone from love to something else.
Okay.
So this is a good chance too, while you're writing this, to have your feelings since last night's revelation changed how you regard Miriam.
So my I had 4 options. You said I
Well,
could either
you don't
change
have any
this-
harm to remove,
Okay.
so that doesn't. So it's just
How come I didn't get any harm from yesterday's events?
you can change the target and or tone of a currently filled regard slot. You didn't take any harm because you kept rolling and using hold and throwing other people in the way.
That's true. Okay.
I think my character has every right to be afraid of you. You get everyone around you killed, and you get away scot-free.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
You're a very good sparrow.
Um,
You don't have to. This is an opportunity here for you to update your regard.
I think I'm gonna keep it the way that it is.
Okay.
Well, hang on. I confessed my love for Miriam. She doesn't. She's honored, but doesn't share those feelings. So maybe that has changed the way I feel about.
Yeah.
Her. I
I am obsessed with Miriam.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Has it
that's
gotten
so
worse?
I'm
Much
going to win
worse.
them over.
Has it gotten worse? Sure.
She just doesn't know any better. She just needs to know.
Just needs to know all the secrets.
And in fact, in your letter to the NKVD, not only do you throw your senior lieutenant under the bus, but you elevate your attack run
I
pilot.
said Miriam is the only reason
As the
that
hero.
this one plane came back. Otherwise, all three would be lost, and she should get a promotion or a medal or both.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you will be. You will be. In fact, you know, it's understood all too clearly. You will be promoted, and you will be leading tonight's mission.
Fuck.
I
Yeah,
obsess over Miriam
absolutely.
most.
Because and it works. It works very well, and they absolutely agree. And so they you receive a notice that there has been some changes on the base, that your senior lieutenant has been arrested for mismanagement of squad of like army resources, and for dereliction of duty, and for putting people in harm's way. She is being personally held responsible for the death of 4 pilots, 4 airwomen, and
So what you're saying is we need a new
it's tucked
senior
away.
lieutenant, and Miriam
so there will
is
be a
up
new
for
there will be a
promotion?
new senior lieutenant being there'll be a new person coming down from the upper ranks to oversee all of your sections, but we do need a new for the specific group that you're in for your 3 planes, and because of that, the senior lieutenant had a squad, and they're all being grounded, posing investigations for further treason within the regiment. So a few planes have opened up, as it turns out, and
Okay.
you'll be flying theirs. Because you're the darling now, and everyone else is being looked out for, and there are some nasty eyes being throwing shade in your direction now.
I'm sure.
Because senior lieutenant, the senior lieutenant was
do it.
beloved. She was a protector and a leader, someone who
by
looked out
everyone,
for the other women, she's absolutely innocent of everything that is being charged at her, and someone ratted her out. And you're the one who got the promotion, Miriam.
This isn't good.
So
This is
everyone
very bad.
thinks you're the one
So
who
what is she
ratted her
promoted
out.
to?
She's now of a equal rank with you.
So you're
She's up to lieutenant, but will also be in charge of tonight's mission.
Okay. Oh, right. So right after I switched my role to leader. I'm not the leader
Absolutely,
anymore.
absolutely.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. That's fine.
And so the leader, you do have like how does that advance
I
specifically?
advance when someone under my direct command dies.
Yeah.
Which I was expecting to happen given what happened previously.
Yeah, so that already happened last night.
Yeah.
So that's it might still happen tonight. You'll have other people like that you will outrank. In
Oh,
this
that's
mission.
fair. That's fair. She might
So,
be leading the mission, but I might outrank
Miriam,
yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I walk out of that meeting.
You still need to repair Stalin's North Star.
I know.
Yeah.
I walk out of that meeting without saying a word to Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even look at her.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk out. And I go straight to the infirmary, and I'm looking to see if anyone has miraculously survived last night, or if it was just that bad for everyone.
Oh, the infirmary is not a. Yeah. You certainly don't find any of the women from last night's thing. We know as players that Neil's Lyra will show up, but as far as you know, she's dosed. She's MIA.
Yeah.
But while you're there, we know we have a mark where you have to comfort a dying friend, and you do see someone you do know, someone you trained with back at Turganika, and their mission last night was a success, but they were attacked and ambushed from the clouds last night by the same German fighters, and she was shot.
Okay.
Their plane landed, but she's here, and I mean, it's it's not looking good.
Yeah.
And she's the best they can do is keep her comfortable.
Yeah. So I go to sit with her for a while, and I just kind of hold her hand.
Roll 2d6.
All right. I've switched dice since last episode, by the way. 5? Plus, do I add anything?
It's okay. It was just going to be a chance for you to reach out to this woman, who we should name, even though she's about to die.
Spoiler.
Here, what's her name? But your comfort is going to be ineffective.
Olya Todorova?
Yeah. Olya Todorova. Your presence does not bring her any kind of comfort. They are, even in the infirmary, they've heard about what you've done to the lieutenant and to the squad. And, I mean, she dies crying.
Oh, no.
And you take a mark.
Okay.
No.
This is bad.
Oh, jeez.
This is a dark
All right.
day.
Today's awful. I just shouldn't
So
have got out
And
of
it just
bed.
keeps getting worse.
And as she's dying, you look over your shoulder to see. Oh, okay, excellent. I think we know who that's going to be.
I think so.
Yeah, we're in sync. You marked off a new mark, and anyway, we'll get to that soon. So just as she dies, you look over your shoulder, and you hear film reel. And there's a camera recording everything.
Oh shit!
And it's the documentary crew film going through the infirmary, and they've stopped and paused. And she's died on this bed, and now they're coming up to you and asking you questions. And they're getting in your face about, did you know her? How do you feel? Should women be serving? Are you heroes? She died a hero to the country.
I think I just start crying and walk away.
Oh
I
man.
don't trust myself to say the right thing in this moment.
And they just and they keep following you on the camera, and they're capturing everything on this. Oh no. So you need to rest up because you're hurt, but your plane is damaged. So you need to choose one or the other.
I'll repair the plane.
I don't trust you with my plane.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, she should repair the plane. It has no harm. You need to sleep, and that, even if you don't trust her, that does need to happen.
It does
It's
need to
don't touch
happen.
my plane. I'm gonna go to sleep. And she touched your plane.
Also, you didn't do a really good job repairing
I
it yesterday.
really didn't.
Yeah,
I think
despite everything that you think you are, I don't think it's a mechanic.
All right, fine. I'll go to sleep.
So you're going to rest up. You'll get to knock off one of those harm.
Wonderful.
So we're going to the hangar with Lyra going to bed. Sparrow, you're the one working on the plane and doing the repair.
Oh,
Because you've got the most rest.
I do.
You offered to do it. I'll look after your plane. That was the last thing you said before you headed
That
off.
was the last thing I said. I didn't realize I'd gotten any rest, but
Yeah.
I insulted you, and then
Well, in that you don't have any harm, so you are the most rested.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I insulted you, and then went to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't touch my plane. So you are now going to go touch your plane,
Yes,
and
only her plane.
that's it. Like, and it is just kind of sitting out there on its own. They're the other two planes from the senior lieutenant squad is they're fine. They're in good condition, relatively speaking.
So we
and
got two new planes.
We've got
from
two
the
new
other?
planes
So we
from
still
that.
have our reserve craft as well.
you got a reserve craft. Okay, no, you're gonna use the reserve craft, and you get one plane. You get the senior lieutenant's plane.
Okay,
You're getting her plane.
I get
which
it.
is really going to anger even more people. But we're repairing Stalin's North Star. We'll worry about that piece of paper during the briefing.
I understand. I'm rolling, I'm
sorry.
rolling a skill.
So you're rolling the repair skill, which is one of your day boosts, and then I'm going to have something happen while you're doing the repairs. So it's plus skill.
Go for broke. Can I invoke my third and final ghost to tell
That'll
me how
be
to fix
one
this
more
thing?
mark. How many marks do you have left?
Well, 2.
So one more mark, and you'll be embracing death as your fate.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps. I will take it.
Like someone's got a death wish. You've been more than happy to just absorb marks.
No, I'm a coward. I'll
So
find a
yeah,
way.
you're haunted by the ghosts of the dead.
I am.
Certainly today, and today more than
So-
any days. That makes very
Automatic
good
plus
sense.
10.
So you on a patch, you patch it together. It's no longer damaged. So you're doing this. You're working through the grief of all the people you have failed and sent to their deaths.
So many people.
Many people.
And you'll be damned if you are obsessed with Lyra. You'll be damned if you will be responsible for her death, even if you're responsible for everyone else's death. While you're working on that plane,
I think I've accepted that her and I will never be together, but I will still make sure that she makes it out of this alive.
So while you're,
I will not live up to the cowardly moniker that I.
So
Does
earned.
that mean that Stannis Northstar gets a personality?
It should have a personality.
what's Stannis Northstar personality going to be?
Reliable.
Reliable.
All right.
Yeah. So
Just like the North Star.
Pavel,
Nice.
his name is Pavel Papanov. That's a good
I
director's name.
love it.
Pavel Papanov is coming up, not with the film crew, but he's with the documentary crew. He sees you working on the planes, recognizes you by name as a lieutenant, sees that you were on last night's mission and that you are short crew members. And Pavel is talking faster than you can even get. You can't even get word in. He's just going on how great it is to see the women of the 588th. The Germans are calling you the Night Witches. You're becoming folk heroes. We want to film this and get the word out and show everyone. And we can do that best if we have a camera in the back of one of those planes. They want to put a member of their crew on your crew. So it would be at the expense of an airwoman. It would put a cameraman at the back of one of those planes to film tonight's mission in anticipation in advance of the general's inspection tomorrow.
So instead of a navigator, we would get a cameraman. Is that what you're saying?
You would not have a camera. You would not have a navigator in that plane.
On one plane.
You would have a cameraman.
Are you insane?
Well, we are working in the pleasure of the Red Army, and Stalin himself would like to see these films, and this would be the best way. We would not be the first film crew to film a combat scenario.
Are you
from
prepared
the
to
back of a plane.
lose that cameraman and have them not come back?
And of course, he is offended because they are soldiers in the Red Army as well, and they have seen combat, and they have been on the front lines for the last 2 years filming the trenches and filming the Navy and filming the Air Force. And I think they can handle a few women.
Oh no.
Who do you think you're talking to, sir? I eat men like you for breakfast.
So, it sounds like you're acting out.
Oh, he is pining for a broken camera. That's what he's pining for. If he doesn't back down immediately,
Are you
I wanna
acting
smash
like a
his camera.
natural-born Soviet airwoman or a hooligan?
Oh, a natural-born Soviet airwoman.
So you're rolling plus medals.
Happily, I rolled a 7.
Choose one. Make someone do what you want. Ensure there are no consequences for acting up. Add 1 to the mission pool.
Choose one.
Yeah. And we saw how important mission pool was, and we didn't have any yesterday.
But if I don't
You have
choose
that
make
one.
some-
That one's in there.
if I don't choose make someone do what I want, then he won't back down. Correct?
Yeah, he will go above you and make sure there's a cameraman put on your plane, which would be great publicity for the 588 and your squad, and for your love of your life that you're obsessed with.
All right, I'll put the point in the pool.
However, that means that there will be consequences for you screaming at the director in front of an audience of fellow airwomen.
You know what?
There's no winning. There's no good way out of this. You decided to want to dress him down in front of everyone. A lieutenant who has so far seen almost everyone who has served under her die.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
this guy's a piece of work, and
You want to take the mission pool?
Yeah, I guess we're taking the mission pool.
Mission
now.
pool.
We don't need these, right? We
Uh-huh.
don't.
Totally new.
So he will be putting a cameraman on your crew. He was
Goes over my head,
giving
basically.
you the courtesy of an opportunity to accept their gracious attention and putting you in the spotlight. And if you don't want to accept it graciously, you can still accept it as a direct order. And as he is acting on the general's behalf for the inspection tomorrow. And you can expect that he will tell the general how you have felt as soon as he arrives. First thing. And that will be the consequence.
If I
for you
see
after
you again, I'm going to break your face.
that. And he just... and something about, like, it must be that time of month, and walks off.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Can I smash his camera?
He doesn't have his camera. He was just coming up there to set the schedule.
Oh, can I smash his face?
He's gone. He's walked away. He's already walked
too
away.
late.
And you're just left there
It's done.
stewing, angry, righteously.
Please don't smash my plane.
Yeah.
I fixed your plane. I made your plane reliable.
You wake up, Miriam. 1 harm reduced. You're down to 1.
No,
But
0, because
I
he...
took him
oh,
away from
nice.
Yeah.
So you're rested.
I'm
Now,
rested.
during all of that too, working on the repair and acting out, you will just take an exhaustion harm and have 1 harm. You're tired. You don't get as much rest if you're working on repairing the planes. And you meet at the briefing tent. Unless there's anything else that you would like to do before the briefing, is there any unfinished business you have that you want to deal with? People you
good.
want to talk to? Smooch with? Run off?
I mean, yes,
But
but no.
To the
I
briefing
hate
tent.
everything right now.
to the briefing tent. So we arrive for your briefing, and you will be in charge today, our pigeon. And I've given you a heads up on the mission chart. So you meet us in the tent, and Lyra is going to show up soon as night falls, and people are going to be. That's going to be I'm just foreshadowing a distraction for you.
So I look over the pamphlet and notice that we're doing yet another supply depot bombing run.
Is that B, the one
It
that you're
is
looking at?
B. I'm looking at B.
A lot of them were supply depots
Yeah.
and or gunnery stations or a fuel place.
And so I feel a bit mixed. I want to really absolve myself from the sins of yesterday. So we're going to be bombing a German supply depot near the front lines at Krasnodar. And we are, in the briefing, it says to expect enemy combat patrols.
And in fact, you're able to expect enemy combat patrols because Krasnodar is where Lyra is coming back from. And it's around this time that a jeep is rolling into the camp with Lyra on a stretcher on the back. Scouts found you crawling into the city or limping into the city. Is that okay?
That sounds
With that?
great. Yeah.
And
See, like a makeshift splint kind of a thing.
yeah,
almost.
and they're just like on the back, and there's all this talk, and people are surrounding the truck, and then the nurses are like, "Get away, give some space," and word reaches as you're giving your briefing that Lyra is alive, and they're fueling the planes and they're getting things ready. You're about to head onto your plane and head off for the night. The camera crew's there, and they're setting up their stuff and getting their film going, taking up a lot of space, and it might even bump on the shoulder of the pilot. We need to assign your crew to their planes, but Lyra is here.
I just start crying immediately as soon as I hear the
We
news.
need to know who's on those planes.
So I'm going to put...
What's
and
the
this
tail
is
number?
me as a character, is your superior, the new one from the NKVD that has been
I
put in
lost
charge.
my-
522.
Like, can you pull yourself together?
522
So
is the
I-
tail number of the new plane?
Sure.
Sure.
I pull myself together. I'm piloting the North Star myself.
Of
Are you
course.
doing the attack run?
I'm going to be doing the attack run.
Who's going to be your wayfinder?
I do not trust you.
No, of course not. Of course not.
And so you're with me.
Oh, okay.
So the wayfinder will be in the back of your plane again?
Yes.
Okay.
And you have 2 planes of NPCs.
I'm the wayfinder this time, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you only have 2 PCs right now. Your other PC's in the hospital. 2
What
more.
about Vera? Is she back from her mission?
Vera can be back from the mission, but only if Neil can be the GM for the night mode. No, if you want, you can sit it out in the hospital, and we can role play that. But I can't play my PC
I
impartially
understand.
while still being a GM, where I'm flying in the
So
Germans.
that's up to Neil. Does Neil want to role play?
Or I can give you
character?
Vera, and you can play my character. But she's still off base.
Okay,
She's
I get it.
she's doing her thing. She's working with the NKVD.
I don't know. I mean, even the role play the hospital's not too bad either. To be honest,
We'll have you in the morning. You'll be back in the next
Yeah.
episode for the inspection, and a night in the hospital and recover. We can fudge it enough that whatever you can get into it for tomorrow's mission.
I mean, I did rest a bit. You know,
I'll have you help me with the details though of the
Sure.
GM. So you have your GM references with your agenda and your moves,
here,
and you can absolutely suggest things, and we can kind of co-DM this.
sounds good. Let's give it a
Together.
whirl.
So you see there's the bottom is the GM's threats and things that can be coming in. And you can see these are the principles and the moves that you want to be like after every move. What do you do? Have death collect its toll, doubt them and demand discipline, all those kinds of things. So feel free to offer suggestions about ways I can be better. And
So who are we putting on the other two planes?
All right, so we have tail number 416 and tail number 905. So
905?
Nice.
905 is the plane is the
one you
superior's
stole.
plane.
Yeah, the one you sabotage, the one you threw under the bus.
416, the 6.
So just throw in a few names there
I
so
can
we
see
can
that.
personify them.
Okay, so
And-
did we have a name for the director?
We had
the cameraman.
The cameraman, yeah, sorry.
the cameraman. Yeah, it was Pavel. Pavel Papanov.
So Pavel Papanov is going to be the navigator on 416. And
And your pilot in the 416 is like the camera's too big, the plane is too small. They have to lean forward and kind of hunch their shoulders, and they're not gonna. This is
so I'm going to last minute switch. I was going to have Yulia, my best pilot, with Pavel, but she's just too big of a woman, so I'm going to take my smallest pilot instead, who's Marina.
90 pounds soaking wet.
But a different Marina?
A different. Oh, okay. I can choose a
Marina's a common name. That's
Okay.
fine.
Marina Zhurova is going to be the pilot for the 416. And Yulia is going to be our pilot for the 905. Yulia Grishna. And we have Tatiana Alexandrova as the navigator.
And they're both going to be running escort. They'll be doing the distractions for you.
Okay. Great.
You had a question there, Neil, on your witchy things sheet.
Yeah. I just as far as these ones here, are these just possible things that can happen?
These
to
are all
guys?
like places that you can evoke as a player or a GM just to fill the world with details to make it feel authentic.
I'm just
And
looking
those
at
are
some of
all
these
like
ones in the
names
shit,
and locations.
Look down there.
Yeah, it's just if you're looking for something to say.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing or what's happening in here. I don't know this world that well. Well, there it is. It's all in that sheet for you.
I like that.
All right. Time to head out, though. There might be. Lyra's being rolled into the hospital. You'll check when you come back.
I'll check when I come back.
Yeah, you got a job to do.
I got a job to do.
No one came to visit you, Lyra,
No one
I
can
mean-
but
visit
you're
me.
also kind of unconscious.
I'm a little unconscious.
Yeah.
You're on morphine. So, we fly off for our second mission. I mean, it's not your second mission as characters, but as
I
players.
understand.
And we are heading out to. It's not far, just to the front lines of Krasnodar. B is like it's just across the river from where the landing strip is, and it's very much in fuel range this time, so that might not be a problem. That maybe helps feel with a little bit of the paranoia. You can make out the burned wreckages of that village beneath you, and the sun is gone, and it's starlight. It's clear. And you'll be able to read the maps. The moon, a new moon, so it's very dark. Things are sort of in your favor here as you.
So I have to make a
as you're moving out.
wayfinding
You're
roll?
doing a wayfinding roll, which is a skill check, I believe.
And you have no more dead people.
And I have no more what?
Dead
No more dead
No, I have
people.
no
This
more
is
dead
all
people.
you.
I used them all. That's what
And,
they were for.
The Vidamia are
6.
are the NPCs. They have one hold that they can move in to help take a consequence away from you because we're down a PC. So I'm just going to allow
That's
that
fine.
to still be a thing.
Okay.
6 is what I rolled.
You have a 6. Is there any assistance? You have the mission pool as well that you can tap
spend one
from.
of these.
You can spend one that'll bring it up into the 7 range.
If I assist her, I can't like do my
You need to attack.
attack roll, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You just have to. I mean, in terms of assisting, you just tell me how you.
Okay.
How do you assist your navigator who's sitting behind you? Help with that.
Probably not very well.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
never
telling
mind.
you where
Yeah.
to fly,
Never mind.
and you're flying there.
So it's a little. I mean, if you, and also, do you want to? Things are a little icy right now.
Things are a little icy.
That's fine. You have one mission pool, and that'll top
cold
it up.
shoulder kind of thing.
On a
Um,
7 to 9.
I can. Well, hang on.
Yeah, you rolled a 6, and the
I'm
mission pool from range is
navigating
7.
with Miriam as the pilot.
Yeah.
Do I get a bonus because she is the person that I regard?
Yeah.
'Cause if I get a +1,
how does her presence on the plane help you?
I don't
navigate?
want to lead her astray.
Mhm.
I want her.
Again.
I want her to be able to rely on me.
Okay, so you're at a 7,
Okay.
and
so there we go.
choose one of the following. Your plane suffers a minor mechanical failure and is damaged. The plane that you repaired. They are waiting for you, and it will trigger an enemy fire. You're stressed or banged around and split 2 harm however you want in your plane.
I'll take both.
So you're up to 3 harm.
Oh dear.
Correct.
So in the back, like you hit some heavy turbulence, and there's a break, and 3 harm is you need to be put into the hospital.
So it's not
So-
just mental stress.
So something happens. You're frostbitten in the cold because it's an open cockpit and it's the middle of the night, and you're working the maps, but there's not enough gloves to go around, and so your bare hands are out, and
Or
but
like
you're so determined to not let your pilot down that your fingers are going like white and the tips are going black, and you have some serious
my
frostbite.
goggles frosted over, and I either was going to
Yeah.
not be able to do my job as a navigator,
Yeah.
or I had to take my goggles off.
Yeah. So
And now I'm like blind or
So
something.
you've got
Blind in one eye.
exposure. You're dealing from the kind of exposure where you're going to be grounded when you get down. Because if you take one more harm, you die. By the way,
Maybe.
so choose one
can you say
consequence.
no?
You're stressed and banged around. Split 2, however you want. So you don't realize that your navigator is doing all of this for you,
Yeah. No, I have
and
no idea.
and is freezing to death in the back of this plane, being banged around by turbulence and getting hurt, and there might be like a sprained shoulder, and it's horrible. The scarf flies off, like she's got nothing to keep her warm up here, and you're like 10,000 feet above the ground in,
Right.
in early spring, however you reach your mark, your target. It's time for your attack run.
All right.
This time,
Let's do
you
it.
have a regard with your plane. You see, you get a
I
+1,
do.
and it's plus guts, which is
Which
another
is-
2.
so
So
I'm
you're
up to
rolling with +3,
total.
and there's still 2 in the mission pool.
Come
So
on.
you
5 plus 3 is
8.
5 plus 3 is 8, and 2 from that mission pool will bring it to a 10.
On a 10,
we
your
all-
payload connects.
That's
you
the
only-
only way the
and-
payload connects.
And you only
No,
have to
on
choose
a-
one.
on-
On a
on
7
an
to
8,
9,
it's
it's
a
hit, but
hit
you have to
with
pick
2
2 of the terrible consequences. On a 10, it's on the night moves page. Talking about the night moves.
Ow,
Attack.
ow.
You're looking at attack run.
Okay.
Nightlife.
A hit from
Do we?
1974.
Sorry, just a quick mechanical question. Do we have more to do tonight? If this succeeds.
And once it succeeds, you fly home. Unless you're damaged, in which case you have to wheels down.
Do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the mission. That's what it's for.
All right. I used
so
it.
only one. So see that option? Pick one from that list. This was much better than missing 3 times in a row.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if a plane in your section is damaged, that doesn't mean your plane. It's your section of the 3,
Okay.
and it'll be up to me.
Oh no.
But that plane would have to wheels down if they got damaged. Although you've got NPCs, so I would just take them out.
Choose the mark.
You fly through a storm of flak, which will trigger the enemy fire move, which we haven't done yet, but that's over there. It's a luck roll. You damage the target, but it's not significant, and it's your fault. And you and your fellow airwoman are marked. Keeping in mind what that will mean for your fellow airwoman who has one more mark left.
Yeah, I don't think I can choose that one.
And live with yourself.
I won't.
No.
I won't die. I have an extra life token.
Okay, so let's. Would you prefer to get a enemy fire run in, or
We just haven't done it yet, but I don't. It's up to you.
It's up to me?
It's
Okay.
It's your choice. You got the 10, and so you can absolutely just a plane in your section is damaged.
yeah, let's do that.
So the as you're going in, it's textbook, right? Your two Vidamias move out and distract the spotlights, and the flak fire is going around. Dun, 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 dun. They're lighting up the sky. You cut your engines and you dive down. And you're seeing the depot coming up, and it's exactly like it was in the training. None of that fog from last night, none of that rain, none of that nonsense going on of people declaring their love for you just as you're going in for your attack run. It's just silence as it was meant to be,
That
and
helped.
it's almost poetry as the bombs disconnect and land silently and then explode into the depot as you fly back up and you catch the wind in your glide. You get your engine kicks back in. There's not even a bit of stall because your Stalin's North Star is reliable, and as you go up. But the other two planes, the Vidamias, are hit with bullet fire and the anti-flak, and one of them gets their wing clipped, but they're still at it and they're able to take
Is it the one with the cameraman?
And it's hard to tell in the chaos because the two of them look almost the same, and the damage is going on, and you fly back, and as you make it back to the airfield, all three of your planes this time coming in, and they each land one after another,
Amazing.
and the cameraman's camera was destroyed when it was damaged, and his entire mission was a waste, and he is so upset, and he wants to take it out on the section for not protecting him and his equipment. This was meant to be for Stalin and for the general and for the 588. Now he has nothing, and his very career could be at stake. So of course he's going to throw you under the bus before that can happen.
I believe I told them. I asked them if they were prepared to lose people or equipment on this mission.
Yeah. So you rub it in his face,
Yeah.
and this, in tone, is very different from last night's mission. But this is where we're going to end this episode today. You will have redeemed yourself among your fellow airwomen, I think, for having done this. And then you go out and you do that a few more runs, and you're in your groove now, and you do that, and you get out there, and but the camera's been destroyed, and he can't get in anymore, and so they get another airwoman to sit in the navigator position, and you all go out, and it's just boom, 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 and it's just how it's supposed to be, and tomorrow's the inspection. Hope you get your rest. For the Night Witches, our third episode. Next week's our final one. So we've got one final bombing run to do and see if you make it out. If you would like us to keep playing, there are other duty stations. And like I said in the first episode, we can fight all the way to Berlin. We can take this all the way to the end of the war and go from duty station to duty station and follow the stories of these brave women of the 588. Join our Patreon page, patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Donation of any amount. There's other tiers for higher stuff, like those debrief episodes we talk about and postcards in the mail and all that. But any amount will gain you access to the poll. And the poll is open all month, and you can vote for more than one option. And just take the one that gets the most numbers. And the first option is always the game we're currently playing. So if you want us to return to Night Witches for you in 2 months' time, we'll record it next month. Vote for that. If not, the second option is a sequel to a game. I don't know the exact ones at the time we're recording. The third one is a runner-up in a previous poll, and the fourth one is a brand new game we haven't played yet. And so, until next week for our final episode on Night Witches, I have been your GM, Justin Ecock, surrounded by our women of the 588, successfully landing a mission. Finally,
Woo!
Our pilot. You earned that promotion today.
I did. I am so pleased with myself. It's Miriam. I forget my last name.
You're just so happy to be here.
I'm just so happy to
So
be here. Played by Joe Drummond.
And Neil Tavares playing. Oh wow!
You were
I
out of
forget.
commission for this episode, but you'll be back
Out of
next
commission,
week.
yeah. But Lyra Kazakalva is she's on the mend.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua Barbeau of Chaotic Rogue Entertainment playing Marina Tsetkova.
Yeah, you tried to get out of the plane to get mad at the film director and rub it in the face. Of course, you got some severe frostbite and you collapse, and they're taking you off to
Did
the
Miriam
hospital.
see it is the question.
And you're going to be getting a bed right next to Lyra. And it's after you land and you get off the plane, you see Sparrow's hands, and they're white, like frostbitten white, and the tips are black, and it's really not. It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's like you might lose your fingers bad. And if the harm was any worse, you wouldn't have made it. And if I was any worse of a GM, you'd be marked and you wouldn't make it.
Well, you could. I triple dog dare you to
Not
mark me next
I
time.
I only would really use a mark if you had a misroll. For all those successful rolls, I just let you have it. Let you have your victory. We will see how this concludes. It won't be the same kind of finale as we're used to on the Turbo Wars because it's not really designed in that kind of arc. Each day is its own episode. So there will be loose ends as intended, and hopefully we do get a chance to return to this in the future. But we will at least complete the arc of the inspection and the documentary next week here on the Terrible Warriors. Until that time, be good to each other. Bye.
Bye.
Toodles.
The Terrible Warriors has new episodes out every Tuesday, and next week, the finale to the Night Witches, the last episode before we hand it over to a new campaign and a new month. This campaign was chosen by our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Terrible Warriors. Head over there right now to participate in the current poll to choose which game we'll be recording next. A support of any amount can participate in those polls, and you can choose which game we'll play on the show. Night Witches is published by Bully Pulpit Games and written by Jason Morningstar. And if you'd like to learn more about who the Night Witches were, Aaron Pollier, one of the writers we've interviewed on the show in the past, has offered some book suggestions if you'd like to delve a little bit deeper. And we've been linking them into our show notes at terriblewarriors.com. Follow us on Twitter at Dice Warriors. Come join out in our Discord channel. I promise you we're very friendly. And today's Terrible Warriors and your airwomen of the 588 Night Bomber Regiment were Joshua Barbeau, Neil Tavares, Joe Drummond, and Justin Ecock. We'll be back next week for the finale to the Night Witches, right here on the Terrible Warriors.